Okay. Please excuse my voice. But anyway, first let's talk about all the free stuff that the company offers you for marketing and getting your business up and going for next year. Brian kind of came up with this, I guess, I don't know. Anyway, you can read where it says 2018 subsidies to earn your office bill back. So these are the things that the company is offering you. We want you to get out there and market yourself, market your listings as efficiently and effectively as possible. So yes, I understand that there's a lot more on office bills than just these things, but it's kind of comparing apples to apples because we all have to pay for our associate due or our SAR dues no matter where we are. So we're just gonna compare our basic company basic company expenses and then some of the costs and stuff absorbed by the company. Some of you might think that the company is making money off of your office bill, but we're really not at all. As you can see here, we're actually paying for a lot more than what you're paying for. So, and you guys can write these off as like marketing expenses if you want, or obviously write them off on your taxes, but think of them as marketing expenses. So like if you, for example, if you don't have an office, your associate dues are $72.50, just like everyone's. Your marketing contribution, so, you know, materials for everything's in the bins and for Neil's help and all that stuff, $40, which to have a marketing person full-time working for you for $40 a month, that's pretty dang cheap. And then, you know, to have a voicemail if you don't have a desk, it's $10. So your total, I know your total is probably higher than that because you're going to have a few other expenses, but those are kind of your prerogative if you choose to add those add-ons. But it's $122.50. And then the cost, I don't know if you guys realize, but Showing Time costs us as a company $18 per person to subscribe to. So if you're at a different company, you'd probably have to pay for that yourselves. If you had 4 open houses in the open house section, though that would be $20 each listing, just based on kind of our contract that we have with Topeka Capital Journal and those pictures and everything. They're pretty expensive, and I'm not sure that some agents realize that. So only having to pay $3 for open house directory is pretty awesome. And then the total monthly postcards Brian is giving us, if you take part in that program, which I highly recommend you do so, he's giving you $116 worth of value by sending those postcards out to your SOI every month. And then if you belong to multiple MLSs, you get $20 off as well. So there's another $20 that he's going to give you. So your monthly benefit potential is $234, and then your net office bill, if you think about it, you're getting $111 back every month. And then if you rent an office, the average office rent is around $50, and if you rent an average office here, then you're getting $71.50 back. So that's something to think about if you're wondering about dues and where all of your money is going. So Brian, like I said, he's really trying to get us to get our names out there, and he's giving us a lot of ways to do that. Yeah.
It says for open houses in TJ or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Don't we always pay for that?
Okay, so you pay.
You pay for the open by appointments. If you run one of those, that's something you have to pay for. But with open house ads, the company covers the cost of those.
The $3 is just for the open house directory on that other page, which every single agent that has an open house, no matter what company you're from, has to pay that $3. But those pictures and having that little caption that says open Sunday or open Saturday, that's $20. We figured it out. It's an average of $20 each. So yeah. And speaking of free, we talked about the postcard program multiple times, but Brian came up with an agreement, so Neil's going to kind of go over that for you guys.
It's just brief, and I don't know, was it included in?
Yeah, there's the handouts over there.
It
Yeah.
was in the stack of handouts over here. It describes both of them, both the 100 and the 200 plan. The 200 plan you have to commit for 12 consecutive months. That's 2 pages when it really could be half a page. But Brian just likes, if you want to participate in the 200 postcards a month plan, that you print your name and sign your name on the back of the page and return it to me. And just he's kind of figured out that if people have to sign something in writing, they're more committed to following through with it. And that way too, if they skip a month or whatever and they get charged for 200 postcards, we can come back and say, you signed it, you saw this, you read it, you understood it. So it kind of covers us as well. If anybody has any questions on it, you can ask me.
We just want to do the 100 postcards per month. Or we can do
No, you don't need to fill anything out because that'll just be continuing like we've done in the past.
Okay, next, speaking of free marketing, keeping with that theme, social media. Obviously, you guys can send out social media for free. So also in the handouts was a social media calendar. This is the one that the corporate uses, I think, right? Kind
Yes.
of. Yeah. Okay. So this is the one that corporate uses, and we got it off CB Exchange. I think it's a good format. This is just an example of like the planning that Neil and I do. We sit down and do planning every Monday for our social media accounts, and we're going to try to do a better job on that. So you're going to have your goals every month. These are just 3 example goals. We haven't planned out January yet, but I just said increase our visual tour views, 3 clicks in a contact with a potential new agent. That's just based on some of the stats and the clicks that we've gotten from getting new agents and them clicking on our recruiting stuff. And then increased our post engagement. I should probably put a number on there, probably like, I don't know, 5% or whatever I want to make that. But as you can see at the bottom right here, it has all the months out for you, and you guys can fill those out. I would keep track of this online or on your computer because you can actually put the links to, so if there's like a community New Year's event, I haven't looked yet. Like I said, we do it week by week. But you could do a direct link. You could copy and paste it right there. So then on Wednesday when you're getting ready to do your social media post, you just copy and paste it. Either that or you just do smart scheduling and you have it done. But this is for all the social media platforms. Like I said, so on the 1st, we know we're going to do like a Happy New Year's. And this campaign this week, we like to have a theme for the week. It's going to be New Year's, like resolutions and goals and stuff like that. So Monday, we'll post maybe like a Happy New Year. Maybe a Wednesday, if we can't find an event, maybe we'll post an article about like resolutions and selling your home, goals to sell your home or something like that. Wrong finger. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we do a featured listing, and then on Fridays we do a feature Friday. So you guys can decide what you want to do throughout the week. Please don't post articles every day because then that gets boring for someone who's following your page just looking at articles every single day. But you can see that we have it for Facebook. We have who's going to post it. And then we go down to the next week. Maybe our next week's going to be, I really like this article on why do you really need a home inspection. So maybe this week is going to be on repairs to your home and home inspections, getting your house ready to sell. You guys could put like campaigns, like if you want to say this week we're going to boost your business page and make it a sponsored ad and try to get more likes or something like that. So you guys can use this calendar to do that, but you can also, what Neil and I have started doing is using our actual calendars, and we made a social media calendar for Coldwell Banker. So then we have our article to post to like our social accounts, and I think like on Monday when he did that one, he right here in the notes he has it, winterizing your home. He knows the exact article, and it's scheduled to post at 6:15 p.m., which is the highest time people are looking at the social media. So he has that set up in our smart schedule in our Facebook, and he didn't even have to, I'm guessing he had it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he didn't even have to do anything at 6:15 while he's at home with his kids. It just went on already. And then like we know like our community event, it was going to be if you guys saw it, it was Winter Wonderland yesterday. So we just sit down on Mondays and go through and we just put it on our calendar. And also what I put on my calendar as well is, let's see, oh, it doesn't start until January, but I put on the 20th of every month, I put that, the 20th, let's see, yeah. So like on the 20th of every month, I put a reminder that my postcard decision is due, so I have to figure out if I want a different postcard than what is designed so I can tell him that I want something else designed. And I just decided that I'm going to make my decision on the 20th instead of waiting until, what is it, the
25th.
25th is when it's actually due. And then I put on the 25th that my SOI for my postcards is due, just so that reminder pops up every single month and I'm not going to be the one holding everyone's postcards up. So utilize your Google calendars. I mean, you can make different colors and stuff. So that's kind of what Neil and I do for our social media planning for the company. Some of the sites that I get our content from and he gets our content from, I have a little social media tools like folder. So I have our Kuldebanker blog, and that website is blog.kuldebanker.com. You guys can see all these different blog posts here that they write. You guys could write your own blog posts if you want. And if you click on, you can see the little like share over here, so you can share any of the articles to your Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, or email them out to your SOI. Let's see. And so we have Kuldebanker. I did realtormag.realtor.org. It has a lot of good articles. So it's kind of like the NAR website. It's like the electronic version of the magazine that you get every month. For fun stuff for my personal page, I'm a huge Fixer Upper fan. And I'm a huge Chip and Joanna fan, so I follow Joanna's blog. She has some good stuff sometimes on like designing houses and stuff, so I look at her blog sometimes. So if you follow any blogs, other realtors or people in the industry, those are good places to look. And I'm just, like I said, I'm saving all these to my little folder here. Houzz, that's a good app. They have a magazine. And if your clients are looking for design ideas for their home, that's a good app to use. You can actually put like I don't know, like if you saw a couch that you liked, you could, where'd it go? Oh, if you saw a couch, I don't know why you can't see it on that, but if you saw a couch you like, you could actually put it like into your house or whatever. Realtor.com, they have a lot of good articles, and that's a good source, good quality source. Inman Real Estate, I follow them. So yesterday, as soon as the feds hiked the rate, which I'm sure it was on, CNN and all those other sites too, but as soon as they hiked the rate, they sent me an email, and I get emails throughout the day with articles pertaining to real estate. So that's a good site to subscribe to. It does cost money, but I think it's worth it. So that's kind of the social media planning of it. Do you guys have any questions on that? Yes.
In her folder, you saw that app that she had that was called Canva.
Oh, yeah.
That is an awesome free app to have.
It's Photoshop for Dummies. That's how I like to put it.
And it has a lot of great templates in it too for your social media. Up at the top there shows like the Facebook cover. That'll give you you can build your cover photo directly within that app. It'll be the correct dimensions. And then, like I said, you can build a lot of flyers, or if you want to advertise one of your listings, you can build a nice picture or flyer directly within that app, save it as a JPEG, and then you can post it.
Here's one that I did of one of my
To your
houses.
social media sites, or you can email them out or print them. But I do recommend that one. It's easy and super quick.
It's all free.
Not all of
Not
it.
all of it, but essentially what you would use it for
And
is
you
free.
can,
And a lot of the pictures are only $1. So you can use the pictures or the layouts for $1. I mean,
like I said, you can use
super
their
cheap.
pictures, or you can upload your own pictures.
yeah. and use their text.
And if you're ever looking for images or something to use in your advertising on CB Exchange, they have an image gallery that I believe is available to everybody to use.
Is it Mac and PC?
Yeah, I do it on my Android phone too. Yeah, so that's Canva. Feedly, that's another one. If you can't find any blog content or articles or whatever, you can go to Feedly and you can set up. It's kind of like a Facebook news feed, hence the name Feedly. You can set up like different. So there's like marketing. You could do like marketing, social media, real estate news. There's all these different categories of stuff that you could look at. Zillow also has a lot of good websites. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of Zillow, but I've just kind of came to accept them just because they're here. And so Zillow is another good place. Truly is another good place to get articles and content from. Okay, so that's kind of the free stuff that you guys can do for your marketing. Any other social media questions or comments you can think of? Okay, so I want to get into like the budgeted stuff. So this is just an example budget. I know a lot of you might not even have a budget. Oh, there is one thing I want to show you before. I sent this out yesterday. It's not in the handout over there just because it's more of a on the computer spreadsheet that you should probably use, or you can write on it. It doesn't matter. Yes. Oh.
He's just tapping.
Oh, I thought you had your hand up. Okay, so this is called a KIT chart, and what it stands for is keep in touch. And so you can kind of use this with your SOI because it's formatted the same way as we send out our postcards. So these are just a couple examples of people in there, and they have like their name, their address, and then their phone number and email are in there as well. And if you guys have ever heard Sean Carpenter, he's a Coldwell Banker agent that does a bunch of training and stuff now, which I'm going to do a couple of his classes next year for you guys. He is a huge advocate of Excel and using Excel for your database because it has so many different columns and categories. But this one, you can keep track of everyone that you've kept in touch with. So like January, I don't know what all this person's stuff stands for, but I'm guessing that means just listed, NL for newsletter, and then JS, just sold. So you can see every month where you're keeping track of these people and where you're touching them. And that didn't sound right. But anyway, when you're touching them and how, that doesn't sound right either, but you know what I mean. Contacting. Either way, that doesn't sound right either, but yeah, so if you have like a person who's like this person, like he's not contacting them very often, and let's say that this person is one of their huge advocates, then he should probably plan for like later on in the year or next year to be contacting that person more often. So that's just another way to keep track of who and when you're contacting your people. So let's get into the actual monthly planning. Also, another thing that I did for the postcard program for monthly planning is all it is a Word document. And I just went through and I thought of, okay, what is happening every single month? And I just went through and I was like, okay, here are going to be my themes for the month. And it's literally just a Word document. And I wrote out ideas for every month. And then I need to remember, like in April, okay, I'm probably going to order my Royal schedules in like February or early March. Just so I have an idea of when everything needs to go out. Okay, and lastly, let's go through the budgeting piece that I put together. Actually, I'm not going to take the credit away from Sarah. It's actually a template that Sarah had. Once again, it's just an Excel spreadsheet. All the formulas are already in there, so you can just change this to your own. And if you remember, like this used to be average like $116 a month or more, $232 if you're sending out 2 postcards. But you just have your event or your activity that's going out every month. You have your budgeted cost, and then you guys can figure out your actual cost and then your return on investment when you actually send these things out, and if you keep track of it every month. And then you can figure out your touches, how many touches you had a month, and then if that target market is like your SOI or your ambassadors, or if it's just like a general public, like your Zillow leads and stuff. And then you can, like, your details, like she had like a Valentine's Day promotion where she actually went and delivered like chocolates or something on these people's door, and you guys can estimate how much that's going to cost every month. So it's basically just event planning for the month. And then go down here to the bottom. You have your total right here, unless your general marketing. So like your general marketing, like your, I don't know, your open house in the newspaper, or your boosted visual tours, or whatever you're doing, or your sponsored ads on Facebook for your listing. So she estimated that to be at $700. So if you subtract that, your trackable SOI marketing costs are $10,000. And then here's how many touches that you're getting throughout the year. And so then if you divide your, which, like I said, all the things, the formulas are already in there. If you divide that by your touches, then this is your overall cost per hit. So like overall cost per sending something out. And then once again, your trackable cost per hit. So you guys can kind of budget how much it's going to take to do all your marketing. This is the detailed version, telling you exactly what you're going to send out every month and how much it's going to cost. And then we go to the less detailed version, which is like a summary of all the categories right here. So your marketing budget, and then you have your estimated cost for all those. So these numbers are coming from this other page, adding those together, like your monthly mailers and your monthly ambassador lunches, or your cards, your postage for your cards. And then this is your estimated hours that are invested. So these are how many hours you have invested in like your postcard mailers, like picking them and getting your SOI together and all of that. And then your estimated cost per hour. This number is coming from this. This is your estimated dollar amount your time is worth per hour. This is just an estimate. You guys could figure that out by your business plan if you wanted to. So by taking the amount that you earned last year divided by the number of hours that you thought you worked. Normal person works 40 hours a week time. Not a normal person, just, a corporate 8 to 5 person works 40 hours a week. But anyway, you can figure out how many dollars your time is worth, and then you have your average commission, and then this was her personal income goal, is just an example of $60,000. So anyway, this $300 comes from, take your 6 times your $50 per hour, so that's how much your time is worth. So your total cost basically it's like an opportunity cost, because our postcards are free if you do them every month, is $300. You do that for all of them. And then you're going to come down here, and your estimated total without counting your time is $16,289 for your budget. And then your hours invested, $579. And then your time she thought was worth $28,950 for the year. And then your total of all that is $45,239. So then you can use that to figure out how many houses you need to sell to cover these expenses. So the number of houses you needed to sell to cover just your marketing expenses and not your time, you only need to sell with an average commission of $2,500. So your average price is probably pretty high. Is only 6.5, and the number of houses you need to sell to cover your time plus your expenses, so these two added together divided by your 2,500 is 18.1, and then the number of houses you need to sell to cover your marketing plus make like your personal goal. This is without taking out the rest of your expenses as well, so your number's actually probably going to be higher, but you'd have to sell 42 sides. Yes.
What's the first column? It's estimated,
So this is like your
Revenue?
estimated cost. This.
yeah.
No, this is like your estimated cost, like your estimated. So your newsletters, it's going to cost $810 to produce those and send them out. Like if you did a newsletter
So
mailer.
it's that number plus this estimated cost per hour number equals the total cost over there on the.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and those numbers are coming from like, okay, so let's take this ambassador lunch right here, $1,200. She is saying over here on this other page that every month you're going to spend $200. I don't know if she has them every month because 12 times, because that would be more than that. But if you take all the ambassador lunches right here, these $200 numbers, and you add those up, you get $1,200 or $2,400. I'm sorry. So yeah, she's spending $200 a month on the ambassador lunches. Which your guys' numbers could be completely different if you don't want to spend $200 to take your SOI out to lunch every month, or whatever you want to do. And obviously, you can change these activities and stuff. Like online marketing, that's from her Zillow and Trulia leads. So maybe you don't pay $700 total to get Trulia or Zillow leads. Do you guys have any questions on this? Yeah. What?
Well, so this is telling me how much I'm gonna spend. How
On
much
marketing.
I have to spend
No.
monthly, is it, or what, or how much I have to spend?
This is total.
Annually.
This is annually.
How much I have
this-
to spend to do all of this marketing right here and to make this personal goal. And this is customizable, like,
Yeah, I
Yeah, we're
sent
gonna
you
take
this.
this
I
sheet.
sent you the spreadsheets yesterday.
yeah, we're gonna take this sheet and we're gonna
But
plug in our own,
These formulas are already in there for you.
and then this is gonna tell us what we need to, how many houses we need to sell
To cover your marketing.
to cover the marketing that we're planning.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, once again, Brian said, you can use your associate dues and your marketing contribution, like your monthly office bill, as a marketing expense. Which I think this is a good thing to do, especially for myself, just because I've never, done it before, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just spend that money this month, but is it actually coming back to me with a return, which I need to track that better this year, so it's one of my goals. And also lead management right here, like this number is 0. And that's also, she also put in there some things that don't cost money, like the postcards. That's not costing her any money, it's just costing her time. But like lead management's the same way. We have Dava, we have Zap that's given to us. Most of you have Excel. You paid for it in the beginning, but it's kind of a depreciated cost by now because of how much you've used it. And these are, like I said, these are just examples of things that she does. This is not saying that you have to do these things and this is how much you have to spend. These are just examples of marketing activities. You guys have any other comments or questions?
I'm not sure if I figured it out.
Probably not, because I don't think you guys are in IQ office
Did he
yet.
update his email with you?
Yes,
Okay.
I updated it, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Do you have anything else? Is this like helpful or no? Is there something else that you guys would rather that like something Neil and I could create for you guys to help you out more in your marketing? No.
This helps me a lot.
This
Helps
is
me to
good.
plan.
Good.
So say, is this some stuff we'll go over when we meet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is good because, I mean, I pay for all this stuff, but I never really look at it. I honestly don't even count this until it's tax time at the end of the year. And I'm like, oh, it worked, but I really have no idea what I'm spending on this stuff. And it's probably time to know that.
And it's good to track it, plan it, track it, and then even keep a column, create another column to kind of put your results based off of your marketing.
Yeah,
So
which
then that way you can go back at the end of the year, look back and say, I spent this amount of money, this amount of time on this portion of my marketing, but I really didn't gain anything, so that's something you could cut out for your next year or modify it.
I have done that part, but I haven't compared it to this part. And that's what you need to do to actually find out this estimated cost of hour, or cost per hour, right?
yeah, and like he said, this is kind of the ROI, the return on investment, and like your actual costs. You can keep track of it monthly, and then you could transfer that over to that other spreadsheet, so you could compare. I know last year I kept track of where all my business came from. Like I went through and put exactly where all my transactions came from, and I think I know I had at least one from like the just sold, just listed postcards. So like that pays for those for ever because they're only $30. So there's another expense that you could put in there is just listed and just sold postcards. Just estimate like how many transactions you had last year times 30. And then a lot of them, most of my stuff came from referrals. Like I didn't realize it, but it came from referrals from like Silver Lake. And I'm going to make sure like next year I'm going to invest more time in the school, in the football program, because Silver Lake's, you guys know, it's all football. And they announce names and everything else, every single football game, and the whole town's there. So, and I need to start going. That's another thing. I mean, it's free. It's free to go to events, go to networking events. Like Dave has stuff at his house all the time. I mean, I just need to do a better job of networking and stuff like that. So, I mean, yes, that's a cost of your time. So what's the opportunity cost on that? And that's probably something you need to think about for like your marketing plan from this aspect for your estimated cost per hour.
I know when I look at this and I think about open houses, I mean, look at the return on open houses. And I know I used to make money off of open houses, but I don't even do them anymore. And when I look at this, it makes me feel kind of silly that I'm not doing open houses like every weekend.
Yeah, my first year, that's where over half of my business came from was open houses, and made a lot of money off of it. Phone duty too. Shoot, I mean, it's just my time sitting down there, but I'm also doing something else at the same time, So it's not like I'm just sitting down there with no calls wasting my time. I'm also working on other stuff. And it sounds like we've been getting some good leads lately from the people that have been doing it. Anything else you guys can think of? No? Okay.